Squeeze reactions, man. Just back with another one. What's that? Houdini, Curse of Canada.
Curse of Canada.
Y'all been asking for this. 100 requests in the DM and the comments. So we about to knock this out for y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get this 100 likes.
Merch coming soon.
Merch coming soon, man. Squeeze reactions.
Squeeze reactions.
You got the back lit.
You got the back lit. You gonna see
it's like a jersey soon. On the back. SG. You know, no sniper game. Let's jump into this. Who that cat? Let's jump into this.
Even though Canada doesn't have the same reputation for violence as the U.S., it still has its fair share of dangerous hoods and deadly rap beef.
Not to stop it so quick, but I did about I want to say 5, 6 of these tales of Toronto. They stepping out there.
Stepping?
They getting busy in Toronto. Oh wait, I didn't think it was like
they
that.
said they was getting busy in Canada.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought that was like, you feel me? Mm-hmm. You just dead Canada. You just, feel me? When you from the New York, the trenches, New York City, or wherever you from, nigga, you just ain't thinking about Canada.
Yeah, you ain't thinking about
they stepping righteously.
Houdini, one of the most promising rising rappers from the 6, was tragically gunned down in Toronto's entertainment district in May.
And I knew about him before he died. He's one of like the...
Oh, he died?
He died. They smoked Houdini.
Man.
Houdini was he was nice. He had a song called Big Crip. That's why he was the low. I voted because I heard the song one time, Big Crip. I was like, Big Crip. I heard it, but it was so swaggy. It ain't no aggressive. She went to bang. She went Celine. But it's just so swaggy. I'm like, nah, cuz killed this. And then probably a month later, he was dead. No cap. A month after I heard that song.
20 due to a violent gang feud with another hood in the city. Let's take a closer look at the story of Houdini and the Curse of Canada. Houdini was a rapper from Toronto, best known for tracks like Late Nights and Backseat. At the time of his death, he was on his way to becoming one of the biggest stars in Canada, besides major names like Drake and The Weeknd. But tragically, just as he was starting to blow up on the international level, he would be gunned down just 21 years old while out shopping. Houdini grew up in the Jane Driftwood neighborhood near the block of Jane and Fitch, one of the most dangerous areas in Toronto. He started rapping under the name Houdini in 2016, but then shortened it to just Houdini in 2018. He was known to collaborate with fellow Toronto rappers, Pressa.
Call him Ray Boyfriend. Gangsta. Niggas, he like that. I did not, bro, I saw him with Colin Ray. I was like, this still looking like a dyke or some shit. I only know who he was when I first seen him. Nigga, son about that life. Looking at these stories, I said, nah, press about that.
Robin Banks and Northside Benji.
Together, like his music,
he and Robin Banks founded
up. You got shit with him and Rowdy? Yeah. He got some shit with him and Rowdy. They got the video and all that. That shit hard. I fuck Presser. I like Presser. I like him now. I didn't know who he was when he started dating Colby. I was like, who the fuck is this little nigga dating Colby? Like a little girl. Son, like any little.
Movement Inc., an independent record label, showcasing up-and-coming artists in the city. He dropped the single Late Nights, featuring fellow up-top movement artist Burner Bands on May 8, 2018, which quickly racked up millions of views within its first month of being released. He also dropped a collaborative mixtape with other artists on Uptown Movement called Northside Jane that featured popular artists like One of Mines and No Flavors, which have also racked up millions of views. He dropped his debut mixtape, Who Am I, in February 2019, which peaked at number 27 on the Canadian Independent Music Charts and was certified gold on April 7, 2020. Wow. Later that month, he recorded an acoustic version of one of his most popular tracks, Myself, with ukulele player and producer Einer Banks, which helped expose him to audiences in the U.S.
That's how I found out about him. When he did this shit with this dude. You know, this nigga be doing the... Yeah, they did this shit with Roddy Ricch and shit when he blew up. Exactly. I seen him doing this. I said, who is this nigga? Then I looked his name up.
What year was this?
2019. So yeah, that's when 2019 or 2020. I think he said 2020.
He dropped his second mixtape, Who Would Have Thought, on August 2nd, 2019, which featured the singles Freak, Kenzo, Belmont Boys, and Ain't No Cap. So, Houdini was well on his way to becoming a major star and was one of the top streaming artists in all of Canada. In March 2020, he would drop a 5-song EP called Underground, which featured the singles Big Time and Fantastic. But unfortunately, that EP would be the last project Houdini would release while he was still alive. On May 26, 2020, the rapper was shot and killed while shopping in downtown Toronto.
The 21-year-old musician, also known as Houdini, was shot and killed at King and Blue Jays Way Tuesday afternoon.
Houdini was walking down the street with 2 friends and a 15-year-old boy when a blue Volkswagen Tiguan pulled a U-turn as they were crossing the street. Surveillance footage later revealed that the car had been parked on the east side of Blue Jays Way, waiting for Houdini to walk by. As Houdini and his group walked closer, the car moved towards him, and a lone shooter hopped out of the car and started letting off shots. His 2 associates started firing back, using a handgun with a high-capacity magazine, while the 15-year-old who was with them ducked into a nearby building. Houdini was killed in the shooting, and the 15-year-old also sustained injuries. A 27-year-old woman who just happened to be standing in the doorway of her condo was also also hit, but non-fatally injured. Police believe that the vehicle was parked for about almost 40 minutes before the attack, while the shooter waited for Houdini to walk by. Even though Houdini didn't have much of a criminal record and seemed to be more focused on his music career than on the beef, he still grew up in a rough part of Toronto and was caught up in the street life. Houdini was from the Jane and Finch neighborhood, also known as Driftwood. Many popular rappers, including Houdini, are from the Driftwood neighborhood, and so they have a lot of influence in the city. But they also have ties to a notorious Crip set that has beef with a bunch of other hoods. When the drill wave came to Toronto, these beefs got even more serious as rappers from each hood would diss each other in their music, which only led to more violence and killings. One particularly wild incident involved another popular rapper from Driftwood who goes by the name Pressa. According to police reports, two teens tried to crash a party being hosted by a rival gang were kidnapped, beaten up, forced to play Russian roulette, and sexually assaulted over the course of 2 days. The two victims were members of the Queens Drag Crips and allegedly tried to crash a party being held by their ops, the Young Buck Killers, at an Airbnb. There was a tense standoff and then a shootout where one person sustained minor injuries. The following day, two 17-year-old members of the Crip gang were kidnapped by members of the Young Buck Killers and tortured for the next 48 hours. They were tied to a chair and beaten and forced to play Russian roulette with a loaded handgun. What's even crazier is that they were allegedly forced to perform sexual acts on each other again.
He said them niggas made them niggas give each other head.
Them niggas out there, wow. They
Niggas
kidnapping niggas.
Kidnapping niggas, bro.
They kidnapping niggas. Niggas ain't doing all that in New York.
Niggas ain't doing that in New York, bro. Niggas
Niggas gonna boom the ops. Niggas ain't kidnapping niggas.
Kidnap them niggas, bro. Made them niggas play Russian roulette. So you liable to die anyway. You got your niggas spinning the barrel or the gun, nigga. Then they said, man, fuck that, nigga. Suck that nigga dick. Nah, just blow my brains out, nigga. You gonna have to just kill me, nigga.
Just shoot me.
Yeah, just blow my shit out. Pause. Blow my brains out. You ain't about to have me doing nothing.
Yeah, like
you tweaking.
just shoot me, my nigga.
Please.
Games,
Yeah, you. I'ma make you kill me.
All that extra
I'ma make you kill
shit.
nigga. I'ma spit on you all that. It's like what? All kind of nigga. Them niggas
They
like
wildin'
wildin'
out
shit.
there in
Yeah,
Canada,
they
though.
wildin'.
Kidnapping, they wildin'.
Yeah, they tweaking. From the grid.
Their will, and it was two dudes who were kidnapped. The teens were released to their parents after their parents agreed to pay a ransom. The Young Buck Killers are from the up top section of Jane and Finch, and originally Pressa was involved in the case. But he was cleared of the charges after another rapper who goes by the name Ransky Glitchy was convicted of the kidnapping and sentenced to 6 years in prison. So, it's not hard to see why other areas in Toronto have beef with Driftwood. Not long after that, another popular rapper from Driftwood, Robin Banks, was shot 9 times at a nightclub in Woodbridge. Robin Banks was one of the founders of Up Top Movement and was known for helping other rappers in the city promote themselves and develop their careers. He and other rappers on the label started to build a major buzz in the city and even caught the attention of mainstream artists like Meek Mill. Meek played the rapper's video on his Instagram and was even discussing signing to his Dream Chasers label. To celebrate, Banks decided to throw a party at a hookah lounge called Cameo, but announcing the party gave his ops a drop and they showed up to confront him. The fight resulted in a shooting where Banks was hit 9 times. Miraculously, he survived but suffered injuries to his back, neck, chest, shoulder, wrist, and spinal cord. One bullet even grazed his skull. Although he survived, he's now a paraplegic and is paralyzed from the neck down. 2 men were later arrested for the crime.
Damn. Fuck my son's whole life
up. Fucked it up. He's still rapping though. He's
Fuck
still
my
trying.
son's life up though.
Life is over. I mean, it ain't over, but it's fucked. Yeah, it's fucked.
Nigga paralyzed.
From the neck down.
Damn. He fake looked like he was in a chair. Well, he was in a chair or some shit in that last little clip like 2 seconds ago. Right there.
Yeah, bro. That's nutty. They did him slime.
Yeah,
The neck
9
down.
times. He survived though.
Yeah, it's a fact. You can still eat pussy.
Although he survived, he's now a paraplegic and is paralyzed from the neck down. 2 men were later arrested for the crime. A 29-year-old named Nicholas Roden and a 22-year-old named Rashawn Anderson.
Nicholas Rodent. Nigga about to tell. Nigga name is Rodent. He finna tell. I bet you they say tell.
Roden was given a 16-year sentence, and Anderson was given a life sentence.
Word of mother.
What I said? I knew it. I fucking knew it. How you get 16?
The shooting stopped the
16
and
them
he
other
continues to
boys
release
get
tracks
right.
and promote other local artists in Toronto. But his officer uses disabilities to create memes and take shots at them on social media.
No,
So,
they
the
fried
incident
him.
only escalated the violence between Driftwood and their enemies. The following summer, Driftwood would get into beef with another hood that only make the violence worse, after another popular rapper named Smoke Dogg was killed by a dude from Driftwood.
Shots rang out on this busy block of Queen Street West just before 8 yesterday. A triple shooting that left 2 people dead, and police have just identified the 2 victims, 28-year-old Ernest Monteque and 21-year-old Javante Smart, who we told you about earlier in the show. He was a hip-hop artist better known as Smoke Dogg.
Smoke Dogg was a rapper from the Regent Park area of Toronto who was also building a major name for himself in the city and even started to cross over into the US. The rapper blew up in 2015 with the track Trap House, which was later remixed by Montana, and featured a viral dance move called flipping. Smoke Dogg had also attracted the attention of Drake, who decided to bring him on his headline tour. So, the rapper was already doing big things, and seemed like he was going to become the next major rapper from Toronto to blow up on a mainstream level. But just as he was beginning to reach his potential, he was gunned down by a dude from Driftwood who went by the name 21 Neat. On the night of June 30th, Smoke Dogg and 21 Neat got into a heated argument at a club, and they went outside. There, 21 Neat ended up shooting Smoke Dogg and his manager Ernest Madekwe in broad daylight outside the Cube nightclub in Toronto's entertainment district. This created an immediate beef between Regent Park and Driftwood, who were never cool with each other, but previously didn't have any major issues between them. Smoke Dogg's death was pretty gruesome, and he was by far the most famous rapper from the area at the time. So it was a major loss for Regent Park, and they decided that they had to get revenge. After Smoke Dogg's murder, 21 Neat went on the run, and it took police a long time to find him. They eventually located him in Vancouver in 2019 and had him extradited back to Toronto to face murder charges. 21 Neat and his brother 22 Neat grew up on the same block as many of the popular Driftwood rappers, including Robin Banks and Pressa. But the beef got even more complicated after it became known that 22 Neat, the brother of Smoke Dogg's killer, murdered his own friend, who they also grew up with in Driftwood, a rapper named YS. YS had just got out of jail, but was starting to build a buzz as a rapper when he turned up dead in South Surrey, a city near Vancouver. A rumor began circulating that 22 Neat was responsible for his own friend's death after they had a falling out over money. It didn't take long for the streets to get revenge, and 22 Neat would be murdered just a few days later in Calgary. So not only was Driftwood beefing with other rivals,
them niggas stepping.
Them niggas feet hurt.
Wow. Nigga killed his mans, and then
them niggas came and smoked him
2 days later.
And the brother in jail for smoking the other nigga.
Wow.
21 Neat in jail, now 22 Neat dead.
Both brothers fucked.
Damn, he came and it's like, damn, my niggas did it.
Wow.
Yo, it was nutty.
Thanks. They were also dealing with internal conflicts and their own homies turning against each other. The next rapper from Driftwood to lose his life to gun violence went by the name 4400 or just Talib Twin.
Noseworthy was one of 3 men who died on Friday night. The other 2, 20-year-old Joshua Gibson Skier and 21-year-old Jalen Colley.
Originally,
nigga, 3 of them niggas dying in one night. They stepping differently out there right now. Toronto is not safe.
Twins was a group he started with his twin brother. But after the brother got locked up, he started going by just Talib Twin to benefit from the buzz they'd already built. In February 2020, Talib Twin went to a party that was being hosted at an Airbnb on Queens Wharf Road. His ops got the intel that he would be at the party and showed up looking for smoke. They ended up letting off shots, but Talib Twin was also strapped and started firing back. He managed to take out both of his attackers just before he passed away from his own injuries.
Oh, okay.
But there's some confusion as to how he was actually killed. The police said that he went into a different room to take his own life after the shooting, maybe because he was afraid he'd be arrested for the murder. Others say that he tripped and accidentally shot himself. So it's hard to tell what exactly happened, but it's only intensified the war in the street.
What?
When I back?
Bro, them niggas just said he smoked 2 niggas.
Just before he passed away from his own injuries. But there's some confusion as to how he was actually killed. The police said that he went into a different room to take his own life after the shooting, maybe because he was afraid he'd be arrested for the murder. Others say that he tripped and accidentally shot himself. So it's hard to tell what exactly happened, but it's only intensified the war in the streets of Toronto between Driftwood and their ops. Then, in May of that year, Houdini would be gunned down in broad daylight, because Driftwood has so many...
That's nutty.
They spent on him.
He smoked both of their
He
asses.
smoked both of their asses before he died.
And they trying to say they think he offed himself.
They think he offed himself.
Or he fell and tripped and shot himself. Or he offed himself. That nigga, who knows? I don't know.
He probably offed himself. Ain't no nigga tripping and falling and shooting himself, man. I don't know.
You think he offed himself?
Probably like,
Like,
fuck
man, I
that.
ain't trying to go to jail. No,
Like, yeah, double homie.
You scary ass nigga, you probably could have beat that shit.
War, self-defense. It's self-defense in Canada?
I don't know, but shit, nigga, them niggas be getting out a little bit of time for bodies though. Off the few reactions I did.
Nah, ain't no nigga just smoking himself. I don't think nigga just
I
gonna
don't know,
smoke.
man. Maybe them niggas shot him.
Yeah,
And he
police saying that shit. Police probably clapped that nigga.
Fuck 12, nigga. Yeah,
fuck
that was 12 did that shit, man. That nigga ain't kill himself. RP to that nigga.
The artists were also caught up in the street life. It became a trend for their enemies to target the rappers. Houdini was probably the most well-known rapper from that neighborhood at the time, so he was a major target for their ops. That's why the killers were willing to sit and wait patiently for over 40 minutes for Houdini to walk in their direction.
No.
But the thing about Driftwood is that they have so many different beefs, it's hard to tell exactly who's responsible. To make matters worse, a memorial service for the rapper held 3 days after his death was also shot up. Just before 11:30 p.m., a vehicle driving down Highway 401 stopped in front of the memorial service when a man jumped out and opened fire on the crowd. Police say that at least 60 shell casings were found at the scene and 2 victims sustained injuries. Police later arrested 3 suspects, Javante Johnson, Terrell Whitaker, and Glenn Danshee for the shooting. It's a tragic story.
Homie headline twisted right here though. We ain't about to act like his shit. Homie shit, this shit twisted too. Nah, we ain't about to act like this shit ain't fucked up. Them niggas are stepping. They ain't nothing else to do.
Word, them niggas.
Nigga said, man, we gonna just spin that shit, nigga.
Word.
Nah, they on some Durham, New York shit though, Chicago
And Glenn
shit.
Danshee for the shooting. It's a tragic story because Houdini was on his way to do big things. Even though he was still independent at the time of his death, he was looking into offers from major record labels and had gotten co-signs from major artists in the industry. After he passed, artists like Meek Mill and Tory Lanez mourned his death on social media. It seemed like the rapper lost his life over hatred and jealousy. His ops saw him doing big things and realized they could get some quick street cred by taking out the biggest artist from the most hated hood in the city. Unfortunately, Houdini didn't get the chance to reach his full potential as an artist and gain the kind of recognition he deserved. But it goes to show that as a rapper, once you start to get the money and fame, you have to move out of your own city. Because you never know when your old beefs or ops can come back to haunt you and end up costing you your life.
Nigga was in the hood still.
Whoa. Walking across the street coming from the mall alone to the mall.
Like, comment, subscribe though, y'all.
Squeeze out familiar.
Squeeze live familiar, man. Squeeze reactions.